YouTube, it's me, Brynn again. It's nice to see you again in another video. Today is Tuesday. I do believe it is Tuesday. Let me just make sure. Yes, it is Tuesday. My days are running together, and I'm thinking it's Wednesday because my husband was off on Monday, and then I could have sworn he was at work yesterday, but yesterday was Monday. Okay, so he was off yesterday. Okay. A little bit of a different setup for my desk. I did get everything moved. Works perfectly well, so hopefully I don't need a new monitor anytime soon. Now, since I have everything fixed and moved out of the way. Okay. Now, with all of that being said, let's get into the topic of today's video. Okay. So, habits. We all have them. Okay? And some habits are worse than others. And people tell you, oh, you have to break those bad habits. Oh, you have to break those bad habits. But how do you break a bad habit? You can't. You can literally only replace a habit with another habit. So, if you are eating cake every day at 3 o'clock, every day at 3 o'clock you eat a slice of cake. Okay? And I'm not talking about no tiny piece, maybe just a little bit, you know. I'm talking about big, humongous slice of cake. So every day you eat a huge piece of cake at 3 o'clock, right? You gradually see your weight going up and up and up. Okay? How do you break that habit of eating cake at 3 o'clock every day? Well, you have to replace it with something else. So every day at 3 o'clock, maybe you start eating carrots or something. I don't know. But you replace it with something that's better than the habit you have of eating cake at 3 o'clock. Okay, you have to replace that habit with another habit. Okay, so money habits. What do we do there? This ties into the video yesterday of budgeting. You gotta learn to budget, and you know, once you budget, you'll be thinking more about your money when you go to the store instead of, oh, I need this, or I want this, this is nice. It's going to give you temporary satisfaction for the time being, but once that satisfaction wears off, then you get that, and you realize, oh, I just messed up. What am I going to do? So, habits are the same way. So if you have a habit of, you know, spending your money when you get your paycheck, what do you end up with? Well, you end up with no money left at the end of the month, right? You have more month at the end of your money than more money at the end of your month. And I get this saying from Keala Kanae, and I will again link his YouTube channel at the bottom of the page. He is an awesome mentor. He owns an affiliate marketing business. I do affiliate marketing. If you want to learn more about that, I'll link that in the bottom of the video as well. But back on topic. Okay. So it's payday. You've been thinking all week, oh, I'm broke, I have no money until I get paid. Okay? You avoid hanging out with friends. You avoid going out to lunch. You avoid doing all this. But as soon as you get paid, what do? You go out and you hang out with friends and you buy lunch. You go to McDonald's. You know, maybe Chili's once in a while, or you go to Olive Garden, or you go to the mall and you're like, oh, these pair of jeans, it's $80, and I need a couple pairs of those, and I need this, you know, $400 jacket. These Air Jordans are nice, you know, they're just things that you don't need. Now, I know I said yesterday, buy a more expensive item. That way, you know, a more a better quality item. That way you spend $130 on the Carhartt jacket than spending $20 on a jacket from Walmart and having to keep spending that $20 because that jacket's going to get torn up and torn up and torn up. Okay, because eventually it's going to cost more than $130, right? But what you don't want to do is when you get your paycheck and you just keep buying expensive luxury items that you don't actually need. Okay? It's called keeping up with the Joneses. Again, I learned that from Keala Kanae. So keeping up with the Joneses. And I've learned it from other YouTube videos as well, other people who, have made it. Like I said from the very beginning, I'm not going to start teaching you something on this channel if I haven't already looked it up and learned it myself and am implementing it in my life right now, and it's working. Okay? I've never been one to go to the mall and be like, oh, I want this, or oh, I want that. And I've gone to the mall. Trust me, yes, I've gone to the mall and I've bought stuff from the mall, but it's never been, $100 here and $100 there, and and next thing I know, I'm just flat broke afterwards. No. It's might have been, a little bit here, a little bit here, and maybe at the end of my trip it equals like $80. I don't do that anymore. Okay? I used to not go to the mall very often to begin with, just because I used to do that. But now my husband and I, we go to the mall sometimes, but we only do this like once or twice a month. And it will be our escape, or whatever. It'd be our date, or couple thing, or whatever. It's to people watch, and we see how certain people walk, and you realize, once you get down to a certain point, and you see people, how they walk. Some people walk a certain way that makes you realize, oh, they don't have the money to be here, but they're here and they're spending like they do. And then you see the people who are like, oh, these people do have money, but they're not buying a bunch of stuff that they don't need. Right? They maybe have gone in the mall because they need new clothes or something, and they just like the mall. And, again, Walmart is nice, but it's not going to give you the best of quality of clothes when you need the clothes. Okay? It's nice to go to Walmart. I have Walmart clothes. I still wear Walmart clothes. But I'm not out going to work outside every day, to where my clothes can get ripped. My husband, you walk in the closet, all of his shirts have holes in it. So you got to fix your spending habit. Okay, how do you fix your spending habit? You replace it with another habit. Maybe something that doesn't cost money. Like, instead of going out and buying all this stuff, or going out and eating lunch with a bunch of people, at these restaurants or whatever, go to the park. It costs $0. Go on a picnic. That's food from your own pantry that you put in a basket and you go out, or a lunchbox or something or other, and invite friends to eat at the park. Sandwiches are made in your own kitchen is going to be cheaper than buying a bunch of Big Macs at McDonald's. Okay? I never, I don't like Big Macs. My husband loves Big Macs. But no, I don't like it. Okay? Now, you got that out of the way. Now fix that habit of spending all of your money the second you get it by forming a habit of putting your money into savings. As soon as you get your paycheck. As soon as you get your paycheck, 10% of that goes into savings. 10%. If you can do more than 10%, go for it. Do it. That's awesome. That's great. You should. Okay? This is how I divvy up mine, okay? I used to have terrible spending habits. I know, I mean, it seemed like I was saving money I wasn't going out all the time, but when I was going out, I was spending money like there was no tomorrow. I don't do that anymore. Why? Because I was constantly complaining about the fact that I had no money. I I learned about Keala Kanae, I learned about the mindset training, I did all this other stuff, I've done the research, and now I implement what I've learned, and I tell you. So this is literally what I do now when we have our money, when we get our paycheck in. I look at the paycheck. I put at least $200 into savings the first paycheck. Why only $200 the first paycheck? Because we have rent, car payment, and there's something else in there. But rent and a car payment, that's almost $900 right there. $900 right there, almost. Okay? But as soon as I get the paycheck, I put $200 in for the first paycheck into savings. $200. That's more than 10% for us. And we have a savings goal that we want to get to in August, so our bank has, how much do you want in savings by a certain date. So we have a savings goal in place. I used to not have a savings goal in place because I was worried. I was like, we never have money to put into savings, because what was I doing? I was paying bills and playing with the money before I even decided to put money into savings. That is why it's so important to put money into savings first. Okay, so I put $200 into savings, first paycheck. Then I go and I make a grocery list. So a grocery list. And then we go to the store. I do Dylan's pickup. It's just easier because my husband and I, we usually have something else to do on the Saturdays that we go. And we only go shopping every other Saturday. Every other Saturday. But we have it to a point where our shopping list isn't that expensive. Actually, our shopping list doesn't even reach $100. It's just two of us, and we don't need to buy Cheez-Its and Pringles and candy bars and M&Ms and muffins and cake and all this other stuff that a lot of people buy. Okay? You got your meat, your veggies, and your grains, and if you want something sweet, you got your fruits. Okay? And right now, we're not even really getting one of them because we're doing keto. So carbs, we're keeping to a minimum. Okay? We still get carbs sometimes. It's low carb, not no carb for our keto. Low carb, not no carb. So we do our grocery list. We do Dylan's pickup. That shaves off so much time. You have to realize the value and importance of your time. If you can shave off as much time as you can so you can get back to doing what is important, okay? I'm not saying getting groceries isn't important, but I am saying that you have more time to do the things that you need to get done in order to focus on your financial freedom if you don't have to worry about going into the grocery store. Also, the good thing about Dylan's pickup is you can literally type in your groceries and you don't have to go past aisles and aisles and aisles of all this other stuff that you don't need, right? Only issue that I have sometimes is sometimes I don't realize I'm out of face wash, and then my husband will have to go in, or I will go in. Preferably I will go in before my husband will, because my husband likes to go and look at all the aisles because he loves the clearance section. Now, I love him to death, but we gotta stay within that clearance section. Okay, because he has a habit still of going and looking at items he doesn't need. Now, he's gotten better at not purchasing a lot of items from the clearance because he does what I do. He's listened to the stuff I've listened to. He's learning the stuff I'm learning. He watches these videos. Matter of fact, you probably know who I've said his name in a video. He is one of the main people who comments on all of my videos all the time. You ever see a little face with the cowboy hat on it? That is him. That's not what he looks like. That profile picture is not him, so you won't know what he looks like. But That is him. Okay. So we get groceries. And then we focus on the bills. So the same day we get groceries is the same day we go to the bank and pull out money for rent. Okay, we live with his mom, but we still pay rent to live here. So we pull out the rent, and we take it here, and we pay the rent. And then we don't touch the money until the 17th, because the 17th is our car payment. Okay, and I budget this out. Like I said, I budget this out. I said this yesterday in the video. I budget all of our stuff out. Because there shouldn't be any spending all of this money until we have what we need done paid for. Okay? So, there we go. So I put $200 in savings for his paycheck, and then we get groceries and we pull rent, and then we go and we pay the car payment on the 17th. It gets automatically withdrawn. We just have to pay attention to it, which is great, because if you can automate everything, that's perfect. Just make sure you're staying on top of your bank statements and making sure everything is going out and you can budget it correctly. My bank has a budgeting feature on their online banking, so it makes it so much easier. Okay? They even budget it for you. Like, this is how much you have for groceries, and this is how, or like food and outings, and this is how much you have for car and gas and all this other stuff. It's awesome. So not only does the bank do that, I also am doing it on paper, okay? Except I'm not calculating some of the stuff that the bank is calculating, because I know the bank's going to calculate it. I just know the stuff that we physically have to go and pay for, the most noticeable thing, because the car we fill up once a week, okay? And it doesn't take that much. Okay, second paycheck. Sometimes there's, some months there's 3, but that's like, I think it's only like twice a year that there's a month with 3 paychecks. But, or once, I don't know. Okay, but that next paycheck, okay, it's $500 in savings. Why $500? Because we don't have the mass amount of bills that we usually have. I forgot internet in the first one. The internet I also have to pay for. That's another thing that I budget for. I know I was forgetting something else. Okay. And I also have a monthly expense of credit sage, because I do have a debt, and it's being disputed, because, you know, if you can get it disputed, great. But that's a whole another topic for another day, because we're not on the topic of debt right now. So, next paycheck, I put $500 in at the least. Sometimes I put in more. It just depends on what we have going on. So I put $500 in. The next thing that comes out every month is $100 on our investment account. On our investment account. So we take $100 out of our checking, and it automatically gets put into our investment account, and that's a savings account that we have that we don't touch. Okay? And that money is just going to sit there and grow, and then we can take it out at some point whenever, I don't know. I have to look up all this stuff again. But you don't want to touch it, because it'll grow, and then if something happens to you, you can have it to where it goes to somebody in your life, you know, kind of like inheritance. So, with that being said, that's what I do. That's not counting, okay, with what we have to play with we go and we are, going out and we're looking at, I don't know if you see this on the screen, the camera magnifies the screen so much more. Her head, her picture looks so much bigger than it actually is. So, but I'm looking at real estate stuff. I found a group on Facebook in my area of where, I can meet up with people and invest in properties and everything else. And I go on, let me find the phone. I go on my phone and I invest in stocks and everything. Okay, I have, the market is closing in 15 minutes. I was at 2:47, so it's already closed. It wants me to deposit funds right now. We'll have to do that later. So the market is down right now. So we're not doing that well right now. But like I said, the economy is not the greatest. We are technically in the middle of a recession. Okay? It probably, if it has not been announced already, it will probably be announced towards the end of the recession to keep people from freaking out. But people will still, because they're like, oh, inflation. Yes, you are in the middle of recession. So, we do stocks, and this is public.com. Okay, I have the app on my phone. I love Public because I can see what I've invested in. I can see, some days are better than other days. Like today it's down, the other day it was up. So, it just happens. You have to watch it. Okay, the best time to buy is when it's low. So when it dips down, and it's down real down, that's when you want to buy it, because that's the cheapest. Everyone freaks out and they start pulling out when the market starts crashing. But that is the best time to buy, because it's not going to last forever. It's going to go up. Okay, and I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere. I've listened to YouTube videos like free investing or Robert Kiyosaki, or I can't ever remember his last name, which, no disrespect, I have great respect for him. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, my husband and I, we're going to go and we're gonna get gold and silver, and we're gonna do all this other stuff that I tell you in the videos. Right? I tell you this in the videos. I'm not just saying this just to say it. I'm not just telling you without, going to do it myself. Okay? So I have a REIT in here, an REIT. Okay? I've invested in one of those. I'm going to find a physical property that I'm going to buy, invest in, and do all this other stuff. Okay? I have stocks. I'm looking at gold and silver, and we're going to go to a coin shop, an actual physical location, but we're also looking online as well. Okay? When we have physical cash, we are putting it aside. It's not going straight into our bank account, but it's being saved nonetheless. Okay? My husband and I, we didn't go on our honeymoon as soon as our wedding was over. We didn't do that. So on our 1-year anniversary, that's when we're going to go on our honeymoon. Okay, but if I hadn't have changed the habits that I had originally, the habits I had where I was going out and spending money without really realizing I was spending all of this money, without realizing that, that's where all my money was going to, without realizing that, I could put savings in first before I did all this other stuff, because I was like everyone else. And what everyone else does is they're like, oh, I can't put money in savings until everything else is paid for. But when you see money in your account, you want to spend it. Okay? You wait till everything else is paid off, and you during that time, you're going to see things that you want to buy. You're going to buy stuff. You're going to buy food from restaurants that you don't need to be going to. Okay? Every once in a while, a restaurant is okay. We don't need to be going every day for lunch. Okay? So, in between of saying, oh, I'll put savings in after everything is paid for, you're buying things that you don't need, and you're always wondering why you're broke and you have no money and everything else, is because that's what you're spending your money on, is things that you don't need while simultaneously trying to pay bills. But then sometimes some bills are due at later dates, and so then you run into problems like, oh, I've spent all my money and I have no idea where it's gone to. I've been home all month. And then in all actuality, you've been out all the time and you spent your money on things you don't need, and then your bills come up and you have no money for your bills, and then you wonder why that you can't pay your rent and it feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck. That is exactly why, because you haven't put money into savings. Because after all is said and done, after you do all of that, then you have no money to put in savings. Right? No money to put into savings. So you have to put money into savings first, because then after you put money into savings first, then you focus on what you need to pay for first, and then at the end, you have what you have budgeted for play. Okay? That's money you use to go and relax or do things that you want to do, have fun. I love Brynn Fest. I haven't been since I was a child, but I've been dreaming of going ever since. Okay? Because it's amazing. So, I love Brynn Fest, and I want to go to Brynn Fest. I haven't been in years. But by the time it comes up, I'm going to have that money budgeted for already. When we go to Japan, I'm going to have that money budgeted already. And the great thing about having physical cash sometimes is you can save it separately from your savings account that you have in the bank. Okay? So we have a separate savings for our honeymoon. That's going to help us. It's going to help us immensely. So we have a separate savings account for our honeymoon. Okay, we have a savings account in the bank. And we have an investment account, and we have a stock portfolio. I have my stocks. My husband has his stocks. We have different stock portfolios. We're both looking into real estate because he's always wanted to be a landlord, and I've wanted to be a landlord too. I've always also wanted to start my own business. Here I am doing affiliate marketing, and it has been a wonderful experience thus far, and I cannot wait until, we have reached that financial freedom. And I will say I am doing better than I was yesterday and everything else. It might sound different tomorrow when I do Reflection Wednesday. But, I don't know. So, I'll have to title that differently as well. I'll have to probably put Reflection Wednesday and then what it is about. And then, just stuff like that. But in order for you to change your bad habits, you need to replace them with other habits. You have to form another habit over that habit. That way that habit is canceled out. Okay? Like this. Okay? This is a planner. This is a planner. Right? I don't know if you can see. I might have to move this way. There we go. This is a planner, okay? Look how much I've actually written in this. Okay? It may not look like much. It may not, okay? It's a weekly thing. I just hit myself in the ear with the planner, but that's fine. Okay? It has 1 week on each page, and then it has at the very beginning of each tab, it has a calendar, so you can have everything accounted for. Okay? I used to be terrible at using this or any planner all the time. This is the first planner I've used since the day I got it. I used to be terrible at writing in planners and keeping track of everything, but now I use it all the time, every day, practically. Okay? I use it so I can also, when I budget, I also write down what days I'm going to do those things, right? So I have groceries, I have rent, I have all this other stuff. Sometimes I even have what food we're going to eat that day, because it's better to have, your stuff that you're going to eat for the whole week written down. It just makes it so much easier if you're trying to not have so many decisions throughout the week or 2 weeks. Knowing what you're going to have for dinner takes away a decision already, because you've already made that decision at the very beginning when you are writing down your grocery list and you're writing down a meal plan. Okay? So habits don't have to just be monetary. They can be goal orientated. They can, future orientation. It can be, cleaning up your space. All this other stuff, okay? If you had a camera in this basement right now, okay? There's a sweater on the ground, okay? But that's it. And a coat on a chair. That is it. Okay? I'm not even talking about the bathroom right now because I got a pair of shoes on the ground, but that's also it as well. Pair of shoes, sweater, and a coat. That's all I got going on down here. It used to not be like that. I've always been a clean person. I like having my space clean, but when I was with my ex for 4 years, our apartment, you could have sworn a hoarder lived there. Why? Because he would dirty it almost just as fast as I would clean. It was like I cleaned one space, turn around, and it was like I did nothing. It really was. It was really like that. Okay? So, relationships, are like habits too. How are you going to get rid of that relationship? Well, you replace it with another relationship. That does not mean go out and find another partner or whatever as soon as you get done with that relationship to replace the one you were just in and get into another relationship like that. No, that could be a relationship with yourself. How do you replace a bad relationship with a partner? You get a better relationship with yourself. Okay? Habits. You have to form better habits. How do you replace habits? With more habits. Different habits. Better habits. Okay? And I've reiterated that this entire video. But it's true. You can't just expect a habit to go away. You can't just stop. Unless, my husband and I, we've stopped habits pretty much cold turkey sometimes, but that habit always gets replaced with something else, like something better. Okay? I don't drink anymore, okay? When I was with my ex, he was an alcoholic, and I would drink just to keep up. I would never get drunk, so, I would drink to keep up, but, I wouldn't drink to keep that much up, Again, bad idea, don't do that. But I don't drink anymore. Why? Because when my husband first came over, we first started dating, before we even started dating, okay, he decided he was going to get alcohol, we would drink with my roommate, but I told him, I was like, I don't feel like drinking tonight, can we wait till tomorrow? And he decided, hey, roomie, you want to drink? And I got upset, I was upset before I started drinking. I'm usually a really fun drunk, but that night was not okay. I was already mad before I started drinking, so yes, long story short, I pushed him into a shower, he hit his head, and he's never done that again, that's for sure. And I haven't really drank ever since. I've drank maybe a handful of times, just very little minute amounts, and only one at each occasion that I've done that. So not even that much. But that habit was replaced with another habit. You know, some videos you can see a cup from Quick Trip, and that's because that habit has been replaced with tea. Tea is a lot better, but the tea from Quick Trip is not. So that's why I have these. I am going to. I have started trying to make more of my own tea here. Only problem, I've done it a lot throughout, and it helps me avoid buying tea from Quick Trip. I just am out of sweetener, and I need to buy sweetener. Need to add that to the grocery list. But yes, in order for you to change your habits that you have now that you don't like, your bad habits that, you know, you're spending money, you're not saving money, or you're doing this or you're doing that, and you don't like those habits, you have to find another habit that you want and start putting that into practice to replace the habits that you have now. Okay, because I know people who've had habits from way back when, and they still have it, and it's ruined their lives completely, and they blame others for it. So you also have to take responsibility for your habits as well, or you're not gonna get anywhere. My teeth are, sorry, random tidbit. But yes. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. Questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe. I haven't been saying that in the videos, but if you enjoy the content, I would really like that thumbs up button, and I would love to hear from you, and I would love to be able to communicate with you on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, right here on the channel. Remember to invest in yourself, because you are the very best person to invest in, because no one else is going to do it but you. Okay? Invest in stocks, invest in real estate, invest, you know, in buying gold and silver. Okay? And always put 10%, at least 10% of your paycheck into savings every paycheck. If you can do more, that is awesome. That is great. I support you 100%. But you are the only one who knows your limits. Okay? I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Questions, comments, concerns. Right here, majority of my comments are held for review, or I think all of them maybe are held for review, so I will definitely see your comment before next video. So, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!